Hello everyone, this is Greyshot117 here, bringing you a new replay series. That's right, I am doing new replays in a brand new game. Well, actually, it's kind of been released for a while, but it took a while for me to get used to it. And again, make sure you send in the replays for Steel Division Normandy 44. I will be doing replays in this game, pretty much highlighting games which can go from 1v1 to this game. What's this game? A 10v10. Now, you could be saying, WTF, Greyshot, just like this guy, why are you doing a 10v10? Isn't that literally a cluster? Yes, it is, but for a new person, it actually is a great way to introduce yourself into the game because you have teammates to help and pretty much kind of like cover up a flaw or weakness in your gameplay style, which does help. Now, right now I'm in the neutral view, but I can essentially go to any person, including myself. By the way, player is my brother. He just hasn't changed his name yet. So it's myself and my brother in this replay as the allies. Now, in Steel Division Normandy 44, quick overview, there are three phases. Phase A, Phase B, Phase C. And Phase A, you get this much resources, and you get cards. Those cards is essentially how much it is to play that unit, and you can customize your deck. It sounds a little weird, but you get used to it, and it's actually a really good system. So you can only get access to Phase A units, and you only have 70 resources to get in that first one, if that makes sense. And again, there's a quick overview for you to read. Now, overall, what do I have to say about this? Well, it's actually a really cool system for you. That way, it's slowly and incrementally increase the amount of units and heavier units on the field. In the first 2 minutes in play, in case you're wondering, I'll pause it. You can see pretty much each team is laying down a bunch of units. So that's what you're supposed to do. And each side is laying down stuff like, okay, attack here, go here, etc. You can see here this guy named Jimmy Rassler is going to try to push over here. While you see, was it Brass going to try to attack here? I'm over here. You have Doughboy pushing for the center area. This map, by the way, in case you're wondering, is a very interesting map. You have this huge industrial complex over here, this like tiny little snake piece of land that people fight over, and usually if they can try to push through here, they'll use the flanking maneuver to try to hit long range along the side, and then use the force over here as cover and keep pushing all the way till they have this entire side under their control. It's difficult, but especially at this point, because usually like a choke point, but if you can get through, it's a very nice side to have. Then you have more wide open territory. You have the city environment, which is heavy on infantry, and we'll get into that once the game starts. And then you have like this forest environment, which is great for infantry and really cool dynamic because a tank needs direct line of sight, but all these forests and stuff like that can actually obscure it. So you actually have to be very careful with how you move units. But anyway, actually, with each deck, I should probably mention this before, you actually get a different army group. And I'm going over this in case you're wondering. It's the first episode. I'm trying to give a basic understanding. The Axis and Allies have a ton of different armies that they have that essentially took part in Normandy. That's why it's called Normandy 44. And the map is actually, I believe, a photorealistic map of a portion of Normandy during the invasion. Now, each of these, I guess, groups is different, very different. It's like a Company of Heroes 2 doctrine, except it has way more implications. While a lot of units are similar, a lot of them are very different. For example, the American Airborne Division is going to be very different than the 6th Airborne, which is kind of a mix of like British forces, and then you also have like a Polish, there's Free French along here. There's all sorts of cool stuff, and I believe if that's the Polish one, the one Panceria. I could be wrong on that, but anyway, there's also Axis forces. Like I know this one, the Fallschirmjäger, is more designed for airborne stuff like that. We have an armor one, I believe it's 21st Panzer, which is very, very good armor. But I'll hit play. Anyway, the first 2 minutes, you essentially get your decks, you play it down, and what is the goal of this game? Well, in those up to 40 minutes of play. Yeah, it's only a 40-minute game, so it's actually not... It's pretty quick, but it has a lot of action. In that 40-minute play, you have to push for this front line. This front line sways back and forth. You put units on that front line. As long as you're not in direct combat or pinned down, the front line will push. And your goal is to get over 50%. And if you get over 50%, you can start winning the game, and eventually you just win by points. It's a really, really cool system. And then by the end, I'll show you how many kills and stuff like that people have gotten. So let's get right to it, shall we? I believe it should hit live right about now. Or is it 240? It's something along those lines. Anyway, let's make that a little bit smaller for you. Anyway, over here is essentially the command like console, similar to Company of Heroes 2, where it's like stop and go and stuff like that. that you essentially tell unit to get out of a unit. So for example, all these trucks right here, you have to rush them forward and tell them to unpack. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, I'm going over through a basic example. Most replays, I'm going to expect that people have a basic understanding of the game, so I'll just jump right into the action. So you can see everyone's off. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think there's 10 somewhere kind of mixed in. Does my brother have 10? Anyway, there should be 10. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there another one? Or is that 2? Is that just 1? Yeah, you'll have these huge infantry groups that go on. And I love the... Oh my god, I should probably mention. This genius dropped fire on the main road. I completely forgot you could do that. But this is amazing because what it does, it drops fire on the road. Here, I'm going to hide this. Which, by the way, awesome. And it blocks the road. So it delays them, unpacks their units because they're under fire in their own mind. So they have to get off their trucks. Which is a really cool feature. So you can see all of these units just on the road rushing up forward are dying in fire. And it essentially allows this guy, Doughboy, to push up into the city faster than what the Axis possibly could and allows him to gain control. Now, unfortunately, he tried fire over here, but what he did was kind of go around. You can see WTF is like, I've seen worse. And Jimmy Rustler's also over here. For me, I'm trying to lock down this area. That's what I'm trying to do. If I can try to hold this key choke point, I can provide fire support through this angle and hit a lot of them stuff with AT fire. Also, I can try to support the city and make sure they don't flank this way. So I'm kind of pivotal between the hugging the left side of the map and this city. That's where I'm trying to do. While Doughboy is rushing up troops, you can put troops inside of buildings and they'll actually have long range fire. And we can see here, for, let's say for this rifle unit, these Bren machine guns, so again, long range, are very good inside of buildings because they fire actually pretty far. Now, range is very important. For example, a tank, I think this tank is what, at 800mm range? It's 8 or 10. Does it tell me? No, it doesn't tell me. Well, I know mine for a fact. I think this is 1,000. No, is 800. Damn it, I forget. I think this is 8. No. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, so it has so much of a range that it can go to. I love... Wait, is that me? I guess he was like wondering why no one's guarding that point. Because again, you can see here it's like a big bulge. I actually have the farthest point on the map. Unfortunately, it looks here that the Axis have gained control of this industrial complex. And you can see this time on target artillery. They're calling by these trucks. And they're very powerful, but they're very quick. So if you can survive the blast, it's actually... No offense, actually, it's just a one-time very powerful hit. But then you have other artillery units like a mortar or, again, a longer range AT howitzer that essentially fire like this. You can see it like this guy's doing, like just firing normal artillery shells. You do have to worry about ammo. Ammo is a big deal in this game because, again, you have to make sure that you actually, your weapons can fire. We can see here, this guy's like, I'm just going to rush a ton of infantry into the city because he's being pushed down. This guy's doing a fantastic job. He has this entire area pretty much locked down. You can see his forces pretty much making sure they're providing a lot of suppressive fire in the outskirts of the city, making sure that the Axis don't press in, and a cat just jumped on my lap. Wonderful. But you can see here the front line is slowly moving up, and again, we're kind of moving up as well. I'm trying to have some recon units as well. We have some AT just in case they push up. We can see this guy, he's completely out of ammo. So he needs to resupply. There's resupply trucks you can get. I don't have any right now. I typically use them for my anti-air guns. And we can see here, I called in time on target to assist my brother. Because you can see here, my brother is being pushed back pretty damn hard. And Papa Bear is now also coming in to support. Now, where is Papa Bear? Is he just on the right? Okay, he brought an AT gun. AT gun, this thing, I think has like 1,000, 1,200 range. If it's similar to mine, it's 1,200, which is really good. Unfortunately, for the one I bring in, like, where is it? It is here. I only get one. That's the thing. I get one unit. And that's the thing. You can run out of units in this game. It's not like Company of Heroes 2 where you can just keep mass-producing Grenadiers and they won't. They'll have just endless supply. No. You will eventually run out. You can see here they're using overwhelming armor. They have a lot of different tanks just opening fire on that force area, trying to push the infantry back so they can move up their own infantry. But the big issue is time on target. So time on target, it's weird. Even though in other games artillery doesn't do much, in this game, if you can just hit something with enough fire, it will fall back. For example, the fallback symbol's here. So it's pinned down this so they won't move. there's also fall back, which is here, which means they just won't move. They'll slowly move back. That white symbol means surrender, meaning they just gave up. And you can see here right now, yes, there is an air force in this game. And what this guy's choosing to do is using his fighters to pretty much make sure that any early planes that we bring in are shot down almost immediately. And I like how he brings them in like a squadron. So he brings them in, quickly kills the plane, and moves out. You can see here that this guy got some early French tanks. Again, I believe that's a French tank. Yeah, it kind of, yeah, I think it is a French tank. I think it's a stolen French tank, just modified. But I could be wrong on that. There's some doctrines the Germans have that use stolen French armor and other things. We see here a fire coming in, lots of bombs. They're trying to essentially stop the Axis from coming in, also burning the Panzerwerfer. Yes, he has a Panzerwerfer early game. You can see here, by the way, if you're wondering about the 6 and the 8 is the offensive power, the 6 is the defensive power, but only for the front. So that is the highest armor that unit has. And you can see here, it couldn't withstand the artillery barrage, I called it. The 10 is how much it can do to the enemy. So that 10 shot will possibly one-shot another tank with weaker armor. And most tanks, again, will have weaker armor than the main gun. There's some tanks that don't. I think some... Was it? It's like... Oh, I forget the name of it. Get in the buildings. Is he not in the... Oh, he's not in the buildings. Alright. Oh, no, he's already in most of the buildings. Alright. But you can see here he's pinning these guys down. And what he has is essentially very weak German infantry. There's plentiful of them, but as you can see with that part, that means to get disillusioned if they get pinned down very easily. So he's doing Doughboy is doing a fantastic job holding that area. Take the forest. You can see here we're trying to help each other out. There's like a command prompt over here to attack, defend. That's what's up here. Attack, defend, or you make your own prompt. This guy, you can see the enemy's like, hey, push up here. We need to take that. So far, the Axis is doing a pretty good job holding the industrial center. And this is the midpoint right here, so just retrospect. So we can see here we have a slight majority. Very, very slight. But that can change very quickly. If he moves up troops, he can push up here. And the big issue is right here for the Axis. Right now, they control a lot of points. But you can see this guy, Mesbrutus, is pushing up. Now, I will say this is at 10v10, so you will have time when people will quit. So just a heads up, the AI will take its place. And the AI in this game is actually pretty damn good, I will say, compared to Company Heroes 2, which the AI is questionable. And you can see here, he's still holding, and he's doing pretty well. You can see all the infantry coming down. But now the artillery's coming in, and that's going to cause a lot of havoc. It will kill a lot. Well, wow, that was it. That was a pretty weak artillery strike. Again, it depends. Let me double check to see. So this is a 170. Okay, so that explains it. So the 170 is a pretty weak artillery. There's different types and different levels. The one I have is a 381. It's essentially, literally, it's naval artillery. It comes down, it will kill tanks. It's extremely powerful. So this guy's doing a pretty smart move. He's hugging this forest area so my AT can't hit it, but he can still kill the infantry in the forest. Luckily, again, it's like, well, I'll just bring up my little John to deal with it. And this bad boy is fantastic. Why? It's a weak tank. I mean, you can see it's not very strong. It's a light tank, but when it lacks in armor, it more than makes up for it in firepower. It has a 14 level gun, so if it can actually hit the target, it will kill even like pretty powerful Panthers or very powerful Stugs that could cause you havoc. Now, I just tried to deploy a fighter in a attempt to try to push him back, but as you can see, it's not going to go very well. And he's going to turn his fighter. He's going to come back. Shoot, he's going to go after me, and unfortunately my fighter is going to go down. It's going to go down, and yes, you can be hurt by planes, which, yes, increased my excitement for this game even more. If you don't know, Company Heroes 2, I got shot down a lot. My planes got shot down quite a bit, so they would always hit me. And I love the fact that in this game, the first game I played, a plane crashed into my units. That's how I knew I liked the game, because the plane crashed into my units and killed like 2 squads, and I loved it ever since. Now, what to do here? Well, how do we beat these units? Right now, my brother and Papa Bear are playing a defensive game, and actually in this game, it's very important to play defensive. You don't always have to attack. I know in Company Heroes 2, a lot of times people just want to attack and just be like, we need to take these points. You don't need to. If you have plenty of time in this game to counter and wait. For example, phase B is in 30 seconds. So I know in 30 seconds I will get better armor. So if I click on my thing, Here we go. And this is how I kind of see the game as well. You can see blue and then everyone else is a different shade. So you can kind of see what everything is. I really do wish they had multiple different colors. I know that would be insane with the 10v10, but I do wish they had that. That way you can see like every single unit and be like, okay, that's an enemy team, other than just clicking over the unit and being like, oh, that's Jimmy Russell's unit, which does suck. Now, moving up, I'll go back to neutral view so you can kind of see just a normal blue and blue. We do have some artillery coming down, trying to push them back. Again, you try to kill the Panzerwerfer. No, I'm sorry, not Panzerwerfers. These mortar half-tracks, because again, they are very powerful. And we can see here they do have a Pak 88. This thing is a beast. It can't fire through obstacles. No, it can't fire through the hedges, but it's still pretty powerful. Papa Bear launching a major assault. He does have actually a leader. So the leader increases the veterancy, and the higher vet they are, the better they are. So just from perspective, they have no veterancy. They're like a recruit. If they have 1, they're pretty good. 2 are seasoned veterans, and that increases their accuracy, their chances of falling back, etc. I see this. I move up my Lil John. Try to clear it out. And 3 just makes them very, very tough. So if you can get in, again, having a leader increase that veterancy. Now you can see here we're trying to get a little bit more AA. I actually have AA guns over here. My division sucks with anti-air. My planes are okay, shooting down other planes, but I'm being honest, my anti-air in the early game does suck a lot, which requires me to focus on waiting to phase B and C for me to really get effective AA. Now, a lot of times people don't really have a lot of planes in the first round, but as you can see, the enemy's really trying to use a lot of fighters to just clear the skies, and that works early game when the enemy doesn't have a lot of AA. But later games, you're gonna have like Pak 43. Is it Pak 43? Anyway, it's essentially a big goddamn German artillery gun. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Pak 88. Pak 88 fires straight up in the sky and blows planes down. Yeah, that thing sucks. Anyway, I'm bringing up some better AT for longer range, try to help clear all this armor. This, oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Where is it? Where is it? I know I got it. Did I get one? I know I got a Pak gun. Where is it? I know my last one died. That's a fact. No. And then, yeah, you'll have also, like, tanks with that command ability. They're okay, but essentially they are designed as, okay, defensive and really just, oh, yeah, they don't have a effective main gun to really hurt armor. They're essentially just designed to call in the special strike, but they last longer against airstrikes. And this is what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to hide. He's calling in, like, these giant fighter squadrons just to really just help clear the skies, and they are very, very powerful. And now you can also call fighters in to hit targets, but as you can see here, we are getting a ton of AA. Sorry, I'm just trying to click that unit. There, damn it. I will click you. Oh, well, I'll click you later. Anyway, moving on. What's my current strategy? Well, time on target. This guy's blobbing. I know he's blobbing. This is great for anti-blobbing, and I like that. I do try to spread out my units in more of a cohesive style, so that way they don't get hit. And then once this artillery's done, I'll pull it back so it can't be. So that way it doesn't give them a. It's just good to make sure that you don't just keep that up there. Oh yeah, here's my. No, that's Papa Bear's Pak gun. Where's my Pak? Oh, there it is. I knew I brought up around this time, but this Pak gun is a very powerful one. I think it's a level 16, so it can kill pretty much all this armor very easily, very quickly. But the counterpoint is a lot of it's susceptible to artillery. And that's everything as a bonus and thing. Infantry's weak out of cover, but very strong in cover. And you can see here, I do have some infantry, and when they have this yellow line, yeah, that's the other thing, they're very good against armor. So I click on this thing, air landing. They have Piats. So they're decently effective against armor. They're not fantastic, but they're pretty good. There's also these guys, and these, I love these, gammon bombs. Oh boy, they will annihilate armor. You throw one gammon bomb on a tank, it's done. I don't care if it's a Tiger, it's done. So that's why Tigers, you see them more out in the open, you really will rarely see armor hug a forest unless that is allied controlled. Right now, again, we can see here my brother is trying to fight for control of this area, but since they have this pocket, they can hide armor in there. And like I said, if you have armor in here, you don't have to worry about armor inside because it blocks sight, it blocks direct fire. So that's cool. I knew they were retreating this way, so I called in a time on target to make sure they can't come back. And my goal is try to kill some more of the half tracks and whatnot. Again, just force this guy back if all possible. I do bring up, and so does my brother, a lot more AA. So again, we have this AA, we have these, and also, as you can tell, the Allied force is pretty damn mad. We are bringing in P-47s and other fighters to help clear the skies of those fighters over there. Oh, look, is that a German plane? They do have some AA, but they were trying to go after them. Not really any fighters to deal with. They all escaped, so that does suck. And if you're wondering what this map looks like, it's essentially a giant board, if it makes sense. You can see here a board of pretty much the statistics and kind of just outlining of Normandy, which is what you're fighting on. It's what the War Game and Ruse developer kind of uses as a template for like an overall map view, and I really do enjoy it because you can go in these huge epic scales and see all these units, but then you go down and, oh, by the way, there's my other AA gun, which is fantastic. You go in and you can just see the individual detail of these units, which are very high and very good. I love it. And then again, if I wanted to, I can just go out, hide view, and I can just see the artillery going across the field. You can see the arty currently firing, the fire going on, artillery going back and forth. I love this scale and I love this view. You can just see the battles and everything going on, just this huge scale to it. Jimmy Rustler does surrender, and again he leaves, and that's what happens. You will get guys that will leave, and I do apologize about that. You're never going to get a 10v10 where they stick around the entire time. I played this game for like 40 hours, and unfortunately, not once has that happened. But as you can see, we try to counterattack with our fighters, but they just they are not having it. They are absolutely not having it, but they're focusing all their fire, but we are hitting them with a ton of AA. So our goal is to try to shoot down any plane whatsoever. Unfortunately, we only fall them back. Now, you can fall a plane back before they drop their bombs, but it's very unlikely unless you have really good AA, like a Pac 88 line would do it. Now, these fighter groups are going to shoot down at least one plane, I think, or maybe they'll go after the. Come on, kill something. Nope, they bring in fighters. They'll clear this, and they have to retreat. I think one retreat. It's like off map. It's weird. And the other one, I think, either died or got killed. Anyway, something happened. They're doing very good with their fighters. Just me left as well. And like I said, the AI is still pretty damn good. But yeah, we're at 54 to 45, and we have total victory very quickly, which is why most likely they're leaving. So I think there is an option to rejoin, because at least when I haven't disconnected myself, but anytime I go in the lobby, there's always a thing where you can join someone in a game. Now, I haven't tested yet. Anyway, a lot more infantry coming in. The industrial center has been taken. You can see here as well the bulge that will come in when you send a bunch of units forward. It is risky though, because again, you're surrounded on all fronts. It's very easy to surround them, make them pinned, or fall back and just rush your unit to it. If the unit's pinned, if you get close to it, other than let's say a tank, it'll surrender, which is really cool. So yeah, very good tactics by Doughboy in Texas, taking that point. Texas got to my back, and I'm trying to help his with a lot of AA, just trying to shoot down these giant fighter squadrons coming around. That's the biggest issue we're having to deal with. Now, they are targeting the ground, which does suck. Again, currently trying to move a unit, just a bunch of fighters hitting it, but they are forced to fall back, which is nice. I did, again, slowly taking back this area. I have a pack gun right down the center, so if they try to rush up our being like, oh, we can take it, my gun's on standby. I should maybe move it this way, but I was worried that they would just fire at it, and pack guns are very susceptible to enemy fire. Yeah, one shot from a tank could kill a pack gun, which sucks, but it does make sense. It essentially is a piece of equipment. A tank shell is very powerful, so you don't have to worry. Papa Bear and my brother moving in. I guess he's trying to close the gap so we can fire with his bazooka and try to take out that half track. Luckily, artillery comes in, helps clear the gap, pin those troops down. And like I said, if my brother right now rushed that unit, they would surrender. So he is slowly getting this area back, which it does help. But we can see the enemy here, it has a lot of guns. They have a lot of tanks, and their goal is just slowly kill the infantry and allow their infantry to rush up. Again, Jimmy Rustler is now an AI, and the AI is not stupid. They will slowly clear areas, very smart, and move up very methodically. Anyway, you can see here he's just pushing up. What's that? Attack beacon. Oh, I see here. What they're trying to do is knock out these Panzerwerfers. If you wonder, is that Panzerwerfer? Yeah, it's Panzerwerfer. Wonder why it's at artillery. You can see here they're calling in at this position. Very deadly. Incredibly deadly toward infantry. Will pin down whole sections, including armor, and will just destroy a lot. Now, they do have a catch, 22, and that's, again, the limited ammo. So you have to reload these things. And, again, let me try to find one. Where's one? I think I have one. Yes, there's a Jeep resupply. So there's a simple supply truck that I have resupplying my guys. make sure they're okay. Luckily, we got our own fighter squadrons going, shooting down some of their fighters. It's like, how do you like it? Again, Papa Bear's like, we're going to shoot you down. And I think manages to kill it or retreat, one of the two. Help. WTF is asking for assistance. And he's not about to get it. If anything, he's going to be artied. A lot of fighters coming in. We have them trying to chase down the other fighters. Now, they will catch up. Oh, that sucks for him. I said they could catch up, but unfortunately they're not. I love this, by the way. Freaking the giant charge of infantry. Be like, yep, we're gonna rush up with all these men. It's goddamn the highway to hell. But they're going straight into the battle. You can see all the fire going on over there. But they're holding the city, and what they're trying to do is move up as much infantry as possible so they can lock it down. Yeah, most of it's infantry. Though, again, you can see that there is some MGs and stuff like that they are bringing in, some AT guns. What he wants to do is try to get as much infantry for a massive charge, and that's something you can do. People do build up, and then they'll try to push in for a breakthrough through the line and kind of exploit that. For example, you can see here, the Mixed Salt is trying to exploit the line between Mez and Dr. Augot. If he can push through here, it can essentially overwhelm these guys and kind of just take out this unit and keep pressing. You can press your advantage all the way to the enemy, and that has been done, and stop them from coming in. So, for example, if you push all the way here, they will stop coming in. Air will come in, but the land units will stop. Unfortunately, that sucks for a bomber to come in. You can't really shoot down in time, but it's great if you are pushing and trying to take out those areas. Now, bombers are trying to come in. There's all sorts of different planes. That one's an anti-tank plane. So essentially it's trying to go in. Unfortunately, with the AA we have and the fighter, which Doe has, we're able to shoot it down and knock it out. They do have some AA, and oh, there's Flak 88, like I was mentioning earlier. This thing is, like I said, incredibly powerful. Will shoot down planes from very far. I think it has a 1,200 meter range. Anyway, more artillery and fire coming in, trying to stop them from pushing up. You can see here that tank did die from artillery, which is, again, purpose. Moving up a lot of infantry to hold this point, and moving up infantry to hold this left. Again, trying to do something. Artillery's coming in. Papa Bear loves his artillery, and it's coming in. But that being said, if you don't blob your units, again, that's one thing the AI will do. They will blob much more, but that's what they do. Again, it's just an AI. But if you blob, that's a perfect place to arty. If you have something like, where is it? Let me just hide the map and just look for it. There it is. It's like, that's all you need to do. So if you have something like what these guys have with the sextons or whatnot, they're equally potent. It's like, the off-map artillery is not like end-all be-all. This thing will kill a bunch of MGs, infantry, enemy artillery very, very quickly. You just need to restock it. And it's constant. It's maybe not as sudden as the off-map, but it will do its job. We can see here that the enemy over here is also not done. They're not dumb. They are slowly pushing up, and they're slowly trying to take this point. And they have this point over the midpoint. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the map doesn't look like that, but what are you going to do? Huge fighter support coming in. We can see here a lot of artillery just murdering a lot of, unfortunate infantry in the city. Unfortunately, things are not going well. They're trying to hold the city, but there's a lot of infantry, as you can see down there, with their tiny little bodies just pinned down. So this city is being absolutely destroyed through artillery. They are moving up additional armor to try to retake it, and Doughboy and Texas are having a rough time. But they are taking over. I would say about a third, if not more, of the city has been taken over, which is bad. Because if they break this city, that's a huge vantage point which they can take. And we're still holding the points over there, and as you can see, we managed to shoot down some planes, which is fantastic. Almost crashed the lane. Very close. But we're still managing to hold the line and move up more additional pack guns and armor, and also command vehicles to boost our infantry and allow them to keep firing, which is important to me. Anyway, let's see. Infantry assault constantly going. Again, if they can rush up infantry into that city square against all that infantry, they can easily make all this surrender. Because again, they're pinned down. They can't really shoot. If you rush infantry, they will surrender, which is really, really cool. Now, unfortunately, there are some units still hiding there, like those guys in buildings and whatnot, just open fire. But, like, a bazooka team will not do very good against infantry, so unfortunately, if they get in a direct firefight, they're going to die very quickly. So this is a huge charge. Long-range tank fire. You can see some of the packs will actually hit infantry, depending on what type they are. Some of them are only the versus armor, some of them have more anti-infantry components, so they will keep firing. But But yeah, just the scale of this. I love this battle. But yeah, the Axis are pushing through the city. They're trying air support, trying to stop them, but the fighters instantly shot that down. But their fighters are instantly being shot down by a lot of AA. Again, I have a lot of my own stag hounds and whatnot. I'm trying to shoot that thing down before it retreats. And boom, bada bing, I got it. Papa Bear's calling artillery, try to provide some fire support. Try to remove some of the AA and give our teammate a helping hand. Let's see. What is that? What is he asking for? Is that pack gun? Oh, yeah, the AT gun, which is opening fire on all that stuff. Again, it needs sight, but if it gets a good shot, it can, like, help kill that command vehicle, which is right now giving a huge boost to the Axis. Now, the outer portion of the city has fallen. The main square has so far been, like, the trench line where they can't push. But right now, they lost a lot of infantry, but they're still holding. And a lot of infantry over here has unfortunately been pinned down, so let's see if their assault continues or unfortunately has issues. Again, artillery's coming in, trying to help reduce stacks. Unfortunately, they killed it before mine came down, but whatever, it's still being called in. Yeah, that bomber went down, gonna crash. Unfortunately, sucks for him. Still providing fire support, trying to clear this infantry and stop this bomber from moving up, which would really suck. But yeah, but it looks like they are pulling back. Yep, they're pulling back. They didn't take the city, and Doughboy and Texas Ben successfully held it. That's pretty cool. Now, we are in point C, so they can call in the heaviest of heavy equipment to really bust through there. That's why you're seeing a lot of Pak 88s. That's the heaviest guns, the anti-air guns the Germans have, and they're, again, great at shooting down planes long range. You can see Papa Bear's trying to move that in, but the Pak are already opening fire. Unfortunately, it did drop its bombs in time. They didn't get set up. As you can see, they were moving, and they need to stop moving for them to fire, and also have sight. But if they do have all those, they can shoot down the plane pretty quick, or at least make it fall back. Now, see, this main line, main street, is actually being pushed in over here. There's not many units, so I guess he's trying to see if he can break over here, which he probably could. They took the industrial complex, but they have the outskirts pretty well defended. Again, artillery right now is the big thing. They are trying to bring in planes to kind of help pick off some stuff, but the AA is just too much, and unfortunately those planes are having a real tough time. They still have some fighters left, but our fighters have been doing a pretty damn good job. As you can see, we have huge fighter groups from Player coming in, and I have my own Typhoon coming in trying to stop that armor rush that I now have. But yeah, now we're again trying to even out the playing field with our fighters, but you can still see they have a ton, and shooting us down pretty damn quickly. So, sorry, Doughboy. Nice attempt. And actually, different fighters have different agility ratings, stuff like that, so they can turn a lot easier and whatnot. Some bombers you can do strafes on, but they turn so slow that it takes forever. Nice plane crash. Yeah, they're trying to bring in all their bombers and whatnot. One last, like, big attempts. What happens is once one guy sends stuff in, they all send stuff in because they see it as AA can't hit all of us. Let's just push. And that kind of helped. You can see here they did pin down a few forces with those, but really it didn't help. It didn't necessarily turn the tide. Bombers isn't something that you can just call in like a god-named commando strike from Company Force 2 and just change the game. They're good for very small strategic strikes, not necessarily for the big, like, oh my god, I'm going to kill everything, unless you are doing it in a different manner, like blocking a road. That does help. Calling an off-map artillery, try to break these guys and try to fortify this area, and then try to see if I can get an assault to push here. If I can take this forest area, that would really help my brother kind of stop the onslaught over here and allow us to kind of just get a huge foothold in the enemy territory. Now let's see what's going on over here. We have lots of bombers coming in. 80% of the conquest needed, if you're wondering. Again, since we had this majority for so long, we're slowly ticking down the clock. Now, there's 6 minutes left before we get it, but as you can see here, there's only there's 11 minutes left in the game. So if the enemy wants to, they could try to switch it, but most likely at this point it is GG. Storm is calling in all sorts of off-map artillery, trying to break these guys from assaulting. Though it looks like they are assaulting again. Germans trying to take the city. Again, very big battle coming in. Lots of infantry rushing through. And I can go down the small scale with these guys just rushing in, being picked off by machine gun fire. But that man's trying, failing, but he tried. Off-map artillery coming in, trying to break up the enemy, trying to hold that town square, if at all possible. Armor being pulled back, and again, I can move in on that armor unit. You can see here that Panther trying to help his teammate out. I think it's a Puma. We have more off-map artillery, as you can see by the giant goddamn bars. Called in by players, Storm, and who else? Oh, Storm, player, Storm. Trying to break them up and stop their engagements. Have some recon here by Papa, trying to help out his teammates by providing recon. Recon's very important. You want to make sure that you can see what the enemy has. Otherwise, if you don't have recon, you have no idea how to hit it, and things go very badly. AA is trying to shoot down those planes, push those fighters back, if at all possible. But yeah, very nice job flying Sammy with those fighter groups. Very cool. You can see here also that Drill has this huge artillery line. This is good for if you want to just like command click all to hit the target. This is bad if the enemy has an airplane strike and is like, okay, perfect, line them up and hit them all down. Fighters trying to go in, trying to pick off some things. Papa Bear's fighter is able to make it just barely, not being knocked out by the pack. Then we can see your Papa Bear's bringing in more AA and try to deal with those planes. Off-map artillery, they're trying to, my brother's trying to call it in. I'm trying to call it in over here, as you can see, because there's a bit of infantry trying to break through my brother's lines, and my brother's infantry is pinned down, so they're not going to hold very long. But yeah, things are not going all that splendid over here. The enemy is pushing up, and where's that off-map? Oh, did it already get called in? Okay, maybe it did. Dr. August quits. Is that with the Allies or Axis? Nope, definitely Axis. You can see here depending on the commander, depends on how much income you have. Like, for example, if you're a commander that's more specialized in the beginning, like the airborne, you get a lot, but then toward the end, you won't get as much as, let's say, an armor division. Because they get the bigger, heavier tanks. They deserve it. Lots of artillery trying to break up this area, and you can see here, he's trying to call it on me. He, I guess, is worried that I'll push through and flank, which I'm not really moving because of this, but whatever. Papa Bear's moving up his thing for some reason, not sure. Do have a Piat team, or at least more specialized anti-tank group, just on standby in case they do push up, but I'm waiting. Planes moving in, but I have a ton of AA. You can see all the bombs being dropped. I think it's going to hit my little John. Yeah. And you can see here, it is bombs. It will still hurt tanks. So, it gets you wondering, like, oh man, in other games it does nothing. No, in this game it does a lot. And again, even off-map artillery can kill armor. It has to be weak armor, but it can. Or that was that game. I think that was actually a Piat shot. But it will damage it, and I think that was a kill. Fighter group coming in. Probably going to shoot down the Mosquito. And again, you can tell what, depending on the payload he has by that little left marker. That's a fighter marker. That's just a bomb marker. The Mosquito is a really good bomber for the Allies. And then you have the anti-tank one, which looks like just a straight rocket. There's a one for the Germans that looks like an AT strafe. It's essentially a line with it, like across with the T. It's weird, but it's a very good anti-tank plane. Actually, I think it's probably the best one in the game. It's fantastic for killing light armor. It's on the German side, so, you know, they don't necessarily have to worry about these super heavy tanks of the Allies. You really see a lot more of it on the German side with the Panthers and whatnot. Actually, I'm surprised I don't see... Oh, there it is. I'm surprised I don't see a King Tiger. Here's the King Tiger. Just rolling on up, because why the hell not? Again, King Tiger, very powerful, can do a lot of damage with infantry, and also very hard to kill because it has 19 armor on the front. So pretty much everything bounces off the damn thing, left and right. But it can be susceptible to a flank. If you can just keep it pinned and then flank it with a bunch of lighter armor, its side and rear armor is not as thick, so you can use that to your advantage. All the artillery over here, he's trying to press, but I think he should honestly not press over here and kind of press against here and kind of help his teammate out. Maybe they realize they can't push over here, but I don't know. Maybe then push on, maybe then call on your own off map and try to break them up here or something, like more concentrated. I know the Germans don't necessarily have that, but they can also call in a bunch of Panzerwerfer to call in and stuff, help clear it. Oh yeah, there's a Tiger tank. Yep, there's a Tiger. Yep, shit. Lots of artillery going through. Looks like they're still holding the city. Something's going on over here. Hello. Hello. Oh, they're trying to push up with a bunch of infantry. Not a nice final attempt. Trying to break them a little bit. This area is pretty much locked down. They're doing a pretty good job holding this main road, trying to push over here. But yeah, like I said, the front line doesn't necessarily change all that much, because essentially it's like, we have the majority, we'll just hold. And from that point, there we go. We got victory because, again, we got to 2,000 points before the enemy. We got victory over them. So let's go with the team. Now, again, it's for these guys. I still want to say GG. It was a hard fought victory for us, and we still did pretty well. Even though about halfway to 2/3 through the game, the people start quitting. But again, that's typical with a 10v10. Not so much with smaller games like a 3v3 or 4v4. And you can have those. You don't have to have this cluster of a game if you don't want to. But I demonstrated just to show you the scale of this game. And it's very easy just to show you battle strategies of generic units. And then when I go into like a 1v1 or 2v2 or even a 4v4, I can go into individual unit tactics and whatnot and really highlight that stuff. Again, very cool. Let's go to history and, again, kills. History of the game. So you can see here at the beginning, I want to say that was the first kill, was this anti-tank gun versus a Panzer Grenadier, most likely coming up. Well, then very shortly after was Puma strikes and whatnot. Very cool. I wonder if they have fire on here. Do they have the fire stuff? Because I swear that Mosquito got a lot of kills. Oh well. So I think I'm still on neutral, or am I doing mine? Yeah, I'm on something else. I'm on some other person's. Yeah, because I don't think I can. I think. Oh, okay, that's weird. Anyway, I can at least go through kills. Again, most kills I have to give it to Salt with second myself. My brother did okay. You can definitely tell it's my brother because he has Godzilla logo. Losses, unfortunately, though. Again, my brother actually did pretty well in losses. He didn't lose that much. Once he started losing that area in the beginning, he held, and then he's only pushed when he could. It's a smart tactic to not sacrifice units because, like I said, you only have so many. I did okay. I'd middle the road, but yeah, I can definitely say that best player on our team was Salt, and he did fantastic. I think it was on the very far left and just getting a ton of kills. Yeah, I don't think he was the one calling in artillery, but I was second, so I didn't do too bad as well. But again, I can definitely say mine was more artillery focused, while Doughboy was definitely a mix of infantry and planes, because again, his planes were fantastic. On the enemy team, we can see here that it was Mess, and again, he was the guy actually pushing on the enemy team on our side, so pretty good for him. And again, his thing was, I think it was armor, right? I want to say it was armor. I forget. I'm still getting used to all these symbols. My bad. But let's see. Yeah, he did pretty good. We burned it pretty good. And you can see here the AI, unfortunately, toward the end just didn't do that great. But that being said, they were already taking a lot of losses before they left. Like WTF, he did pretty damn well, and he was one of like the first people to go. So take what you can. Anyway, switching back over to losses, the enemy team, most losses go to WTF. So there you go. And then Rustler, Ogot, and then wasn't it Brass? Didn't he? Anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's game. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this little replay. Well, little, it's probably not the word to describe it, of Steel Division, Normandy 44. If you want to submit your own replay, and again, any from 1-1 to 10v10, just put a description, who you are, what pretty much the kind of game it is, a little description, and just if you would be so kind to say the length of it, so that way I can space out the amount of time I need. But the nice thing is, it's a 40-minute game, but you get some explosive action in that time frame. It's not Company of Heroes 2, we have to wait very, very long to get the heavier armor stuff. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Actually, before I do that, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. Almost forgot. They're very important to me. Like Leo, Sean, Tim, and Hercules. Thank you so much for your support, guys. You guys are awesome. But in any case, this has been Greyshot17, and I'll see you guys next time.